it's kind of gross to see me touch it, but flip it over. There's the tip, so that's the left ventricle, and then you've got the this is actually back. So this is the left, that's the right, because we're looking at the back of the heart, and so it's a reliable landmark. Whoops.
Oh.
Splash. That'll happen. You've been warned. So left ventricle, right ventricle, look for the strings. That will be the chordae tendineae, right? That are attached to little kind of sticky up muscles. Those are the papillary muscles that pull on the chordae tendineae. And so if you're looking at the left side, chordae tendineae, they're attaching to a valve, right? Which one is that? Bicuspid or tricuspid? Left side. Yeah, bicuspid. Yeah, so left atrioventricular mitral bicuspid. Over here, and then, oops, more spilling. Over here you'll know above, and you kind of can't quite get in there, but above that you're getting into the right or left atrium. Not everything's going to be present, but this is a little puppy dog ear, right? So that's an auricle of the left atrium. This guy right here, got the little pectinate muscles in it. See, those are pectinate muscles. These are this guy
in the auricle.
Yeah. So this little flappy bit, that's an auricle of the atrium. So here inside they've got pectinate muscles, and here they call those trabeculae carnae, ridges of muscle, which means neat struts, right? Struts, carnae, or trabeculae.
And they're only in the ventricles?
Well, the ventricles have trabeculae carnae. The atria, the right atrium and the two auricles have pectinate muscles, which kind of look the same. Extra ridges of muscle. This one somebody's been nibbling on, I can see. It is getting towards lunchtime. Here, big ridges of muscle. Here's a little string, so chordae tendineae, so little flapper up there, tricuspid. And then above it, you'll be getting into the right atrium, right? And so one of the things that you want to do with these is explore, take a poker, stick it through. The pointy ones aren't as good because they'll just get stuck in the meat. So the blunt probe is really handy. You can just slide it in through things and find where stuff goes. Now here, this is the right or left atrium down into the left ventricle. Here's another valve coming out of the left ventricle. These don't have strings, so it's a semilunar valve. And so which one is that?
Aortic.
Yeah, aortic semilunar. So this is the base of the aorta. Most of it's been chopped away. If you go digging through one of the buckets, you'll find the other half of this heart, and you can bit them on and then really see. So here you've got aortic semilunar. Somewhere, well, probably out here would be the pulmonary semilunar. It's been taken away. So that's some handy stuff there. Since this is the back, that's the posterior interventricular sulcus. Yeah, it's too late for that. This guy is one of the most elusive, or actually two of the most elusive vessels. That's the superior vena cava. There's the inferior, and if you follow where they go, you'll find them. But here's the right side. So there's they connect, they run into each other. So they are usually just sort of floppy. There's not a whole lot of thickness to the walls compared to the aorta. Over here, I mentioned the pulmonary veins coming back from the heart all plug into the left atrium. And when they prepare these specimens, they often cut them so low that it just becomes one big hole. So this would be 4 veins sticking out, carrying oxygenated blood back from the lungs. So pulmonary veins, oxygen. Yeah, oxygenated. So even though they're veins, they carry oxygenated blood. So
is that only for this? Is the only case?
Well, anything with the pulmonary circulation, everything's backwards.
Okay.
So the pulmonary trunk artery carries deoxygenated blood, even though it's an artery, but it goes away. So arteries just mean away. So if you're pulmonary, away from the heart means deoxygenated blood. To the heart, through the veins, oxygenated blood. These are, superior, inferior vena cava. That's deoxygenated blood from the systemic arch. Aorta would be here. So for some reason we don't have any fronts.
Yeah, are we going to be given a post or a posterior or an anterior, or it could be either?
Yeah, you'll probably get pieces. So definitely want to be able to
What?
know which one you're looking at.
Pieces, like
You know,
little
like that.
pieces or a half?
So like this, you get
Okay.
a half, and you have to know. Okay, that's the back. This is the front. Now this one, the front one. Whoops, splash. Usually, pulmonary trunk is up front. Everyone thinks aorta, the big one, but it's actually a little behind the pulmonary trunk. So, and it's thicker. Just looking at these, yeah, that's thick, but this one's much more massive. This one is really wide because they've cut the arch.
What is
Yeah,
that?
it's not usually as
Is it the
large as that.
That's
This
the
is the
aorta.
aorta, and the aorta comes up and then it bows over, and they took the top of that bow off, and so that's why it's so large. But yeah, this will be, hey, little flappy guy there. This is the aorta. Here is a bit of the aortic semilunar valve. Here's a, atrioventricular valve, the little stringy guys right there. We have no, the pulmonary veins will be same story. There's a big hole. They just cut them all off. This one, a little bit more. You can see that there were 4 pulmonary veins. So this is the pulmonary trunk. Here's the aorta. There's not a whole lot on this guy still.
What one's the pulmonary trunk?
This one here
Oh,
in the
underneath
front,
it.
and then the aorta. The little puppy dog here, auricle. Let's see if we have any more. This one's complete. And you will have some.
Did it touch you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, sorry.
Wait, so the one that we just looked at last was an anterior because it has
Yeah,
like,
that was
the
an
aorta
anterior.
stuff on
And
it.
so this one is too. And so you will want to get comfortable with doing this. Just saying, here's the front. Here's
Touching
the
it?
back. Yeah, touching it. Here's the front, here's the back.
Are we
Because
touching
I've mentioned this where I'll see people get they'll go through all these structures and they've got it backwards. And so here's the aorta. No, that's not so. The aorta's over here. So here's this big wall of meat. That's the front. This shorter wall with a bunch of tubes up front, sticking up. That'll be the back of the heart. So here, anterior interventricular sulcus with the apex. So here's the left ventricle and the right ventricle, and the pulmonary trunk and the aorta behind it. And so this is the left auricle and the right auricle. And then here on the back, posterior interventricular sulcus. You can see vessels in there, but I don't know if it's the vein or the artery, so that's why we do those on the model, because they're colored. This is the coronary sulcus, runs up between the upper and lower chambers. That's on the list. There's the vena cava have been totally demolished on here. It's just right down into the right atrium. Here the veins are sort of intactish, but again they do tend to be kind of cut low enough to just a big hole.
So is this like the baseline, how it's more if it's like flat?
For the back.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so the back you see
So it's
is
confused,
nice.
it's like it's not really flat, but.
And then here it's not flat, but then right, it becomes like a little mountain pyramid.
So we don't need to know the interventricular arteries on the real heart?
On the real heart, because you can't tell which is which.
Colors.
So on the model, are they on there?
It just kind of
It doesn't
doesn't
say model.
Yeah, but I might stick a pin in there and say, is the anterior interventricular artery here? Yeah, it's the right spot. So, but if I want you to actually know it, the artery versus the vein, I would do stuff like that on the model.
What are the colors again?
Red is oxygenated, blue is deoxygenated. So if it's on the heart, it's systemic. So red will be arteries, blue would be veins.
Okay.
If it's on the coronary circulation, if it's the big vessels like the vena cava or whatever, then it depends on which circuit it's part of. Pulmonary is going to be reversed.
Could you lay them both, like both halves, so we can see, so we'd be able to tell like the difference?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
like that
front,
half,
back?
and then yeah.
Yeah, but this one's actually not even a half. It's like a top.
It's like a pumpkin.
Yeah, I think it's off of this.
So these 3 are all the same though.
This is
Oh,
So it's sort of this one's an interesting dissection.
Wait, what?
So if you look at this one, this is the guy we went through already. Here we're looking down inside the right
I'm gonna switch with you
and
again.
left of ventricles. And then here we go a little lower, down at the base of the left and right ventricles. So we can see, the bicuspid valve. Here's a little bit of the aortic semilunar.
What about like myocardium and?
So those, epi is the thin membrane. So if I took a pin and stuck it under there, that's epicardium. This is myo, muscle. And then endo is the shiny stuff on the inside, membrane again, on the inside of the heart. The pericardium I would use on a cat, because I don't think the specimens have it. So I might put the pericardium, if I decide to display the pericardium, I'd use the cat.
cool.
It's a lot.